Hey everyone, how's it going? GamerGeek here, and today I'm bringing you guys my full and honest review of the PlayStation 5. I'll be doing this review as fairly as possible, not wanting to get sucked into the hype of the brand new console, so much so that I ignore the flaws, however minor they may be. Strap in too, because this is going to be a pretty comprehensive review of the console. I'll be reviewing everything from how the console handles gameplay, all the way down to noise level and UI design. So with that out of the way, let's get into today's video. So let's start with the console hardware itself. The first thing I want to point out is the size. The console is pretty beefy in terms of just plain size. It stands around the size of a smaller gaming PC case with standing vertically, but could be left sitting horizontally if that's how you prefer it. It is recommended you leave the console standing vertically, and it does come with a package stand for this setup, but you may struggle fitting this console on most entertainment centers due to the sheer size of it. The console also has a unique aesthetic design, and while I do enjoy it, this design does limit the console in terms of how it blends with the rest of your home. The white curved exterior and the signature front-facing blue LEDs are a bold choice for a console line that more prominently featured a gray-black color scheme, and makes the console stand out dramatically in most settings. I will say that despite my love for the design, I feel Xbox Series X went in the right direction with console design, choosing a mostly featureless black design that can blend into pretty much any household without much contrast. As mentioned earlier, the console features the classic PlayStation Blue LEDs we've seen on previous PlayStation generations, with the PS5 having two set in between the two exterior white faces. I again like the design, thinking it gives the PS5 a cool futuristic lighting effect, though it should be noted that some people may not be a fan of the bright blue LEDs. To each their own, and if it does truly bother you, you could easily orient the console to face a different direction. Is the console hardware a problem, or could I see it impacting the sales of the console overall? Not even close. The design or size might be enough to mildly annoy some consumers, but these flaws are so minor I doubt anyone would hesitate to buy the console simply because of the inconveniences over the console design. Next, I want to talk about the UI. I love it. The UI is simple, straightforward, basically idiot-proof, and effective. I think the UI is a serious step up from the PlayStation 4, and it works for a couple different reasons. First, the overall look of the UI is much more interesting on the PS5. There's a neat particle system flowing through the background, the menus are clear and easily understood, and it looks more appealing than the plain dark blue we had by default on the PlayStation 4. Secondly, switching between games and applications is pretty seamless. When playing some Demon's Souls, I can swap out to the main screen and over to Miles Morales' Spider-Man with zero hesitation. If I want to check a download or check my profile while I'm in game, I can bring up the UI and do all of these things without ever having to fully leave my game. I can even review captured footage without actually exiting the game. The interface is honestly pretty perfect. I think it's one of the places on this console where it definitely stands out as an upgraded system when compared to previous generations. All the features and seamless transitions through the UI blew my mind when I first turned on the system. Moving on, let's talk about capturing gameplay since I already mentioned it earlier. I think this system is great and I love that I can capture HD quality gameplay without hindering my ability to play the game. But this system does have flaws that I did notice night one. Exporting your gameplay doesn't always work. So on the PlayStation 5, you can record up to an hour of gameplay footage in a single stretch, and the quality looks amazing. When exporting the footage, you have a couple options. You can either A, use a USB to transfer video directly from the console, which is the best method of exporting, B, share the footage directly to friends on the PlayStation Network, or C, share the footage straight to social media, specifically YouTube. Obviously, the best option would be to use a USB so you can do what you want with the footage, in my case make videos. This isn't always an option though, as sometimes the console decides my USB can go fuck itself from time to time. I spent over an hour trying to export a single clip of Demon's Souls footage, which would get to around 98% transferred every time, before stopping and telling me the captured gameplay can't be transferred to my USB. My initial reaction was maybe my USB was broken, but no, it worked for numerous other clips, including the footage we used of my wife and I playing Astro's Playroom. You can check out that video too if you want, I'll link it right here. So I found that this problem seemingly happens at random, with a majority of my footage being transferred out to USB just fine. I've only had 3 clips so far refuse to transfer, which isn't horrible, since most work as intended, but it's still a pain in the ass. There is thankfully a workaround though, which would be to upload a video to a linked YouTube account and re-download it from YouTube later. This isn't a perfect solution though, as your footage will not come out perfect quality after it goes through YouTube, as I found out. The quality only takes a minor dip, but enough that it was noticeable and annoying. I don't know why the console refuses to export the footage it captured at times, but hopefully there are some updates later on that can fix this problem. Next, let's talk about gameplay. The visuals are amazing, and being able to play in such detailed, quickly rendered environments is mind-blowing for sure. I want to point out though that the visuals are subjective. Enthusiasts of the PS5 will say that the console graphics are revolutionary, while others will say they're minor improvements at best. The point is entirely up to you. What I want to focus on for this review in terms of gameplay is the utilization of SSDs for faster load times. Coming up to the release of the console, the hype surrounding SSDs in the PS5 was huge. People anticipated near split-second load times in-game and argued it would rival gaming PCs in that regard. Well, I found that to not be the case. The console runs fast, faster than previous generations for sure, but it isn't light speed by any means. When playing Demon's Souls, the game does take a brief time to load when exiting the Nexus to new environments. After deaths, moving through fog walls and playing cutscenes though, is when the lack of load time shines through. After a death in-game, you'll spawn right back to keep playing after maybe several seconds max. Cutscenes play instantly when triggered, and fog walls have no delay when you walk through them. This is because these events utilize assets already loaded into each level, so obviously they'll have no delays in load times. When loading entirely new environments though, load times do exist, and I will say they are noticeably shorter than the PS4. The game I saw people hyping at load times the most was Spider-Man, and yeah, it loads and plays way faster than the PS4 counterpart. No more sitting in the subway during fast travels, no more noticeable delays when doing in-game challenges, and seriously reduced load times when starting the game up. For being such a massive open world environment, I was truly mind blown to see the entire game load up within a couple of seconds when I opened my save file. So does the PS5 eliminate load times and revolutionize gaming? No, not really, though it does significantly reduce them and get you to your game faster. Is it faster than a gaming PC? No again, though the PS5 could keep pace with a lower to mid-range gaming PC, so it's not like this console is lagging behind by any means, it's just not the fastest out there. Moving forward, I want to talk about these new controllers. Man, are they the best things in the fucking world. I don't know why, but these controllers are probably the best part of the console for me. They're so fucking amazing and I love gaming on these things. The built-in microphone is amazing quality, being what my wife and I use to capture our audio and our video together. The haptic feedback is responsive and pretty accurate in terms of syncing with in-game actions. Where these controllers really shine through for me though is the adaptive triggers. Holy shit, are these the coolest things I've ever seen. I've been geeking out about these adaptive triggers since I got my hands on the controller. The varying levels of resistance you feel when playing is mind-boggling and literally blew both my mind and my wife's mind as soon as we felt how crazy immersive those controllers make the gameplay. When playing some Astro's Playroom, basically a pre-installed controller tech demo disguised as a game, you really see those adaptive triggers shine in-game and it's awesome. Easily the best part of the console aside from the new games are the DualSense controllers. Finally, let's talk about the noise level of the console. This is a pretty big factor for gaming setups, especially when discussing gaming PCs because the noise level from your fans can make or break your gaming experience. This console unfortunately has some pretty loud case fans. When I turned the console on for the first time, it had numerous software updates, controller updates, game data, etc. to download, so it was venting like its life depended on it. The noise was pretty hard to ignore without turning the volume of my TV louder, and thankfully it stopped once all the background processes finished, but it's not gone forever. If you stress this console out with tons of downloads or uploads, game installations, streaming, etc., you're gonna hear those fans. I don't necessarily blame the console for this though, it only has so much room to circulate air for proper ventilation, it's bound to make some level of noise. I'm just giving you fair warning, don't expect this console to be completely silent when it's put under a lot of stress. I haven't had any major issues though and the noise doesn't ever last long, just be aware it will come and go depending on what you're doing. This console also runs pretty hot, so be sure to orient it away from walls or other hard surfaces to prevent overheating and increasing the noise level further. So, that's my full in-depth review of the PlayStation 5. We definitely went over everything I think is pertinent information regarding whether or not you'd buy this console. Do I think this console was worth it and would I buy it again knowing what I know now? Absolutely, the console is 100% worth it and I would recommend it as the console choice for anyone on the fence as to whether or not they'll get an Xbox or PlayStation. Be sure to let me know what you guys think in the comments below though. Do you own a PlayStation 5 yet? And if you don't, would you consider anything I mentioned being a reason to shy away from the console? I'd love to get your feedback, so be sure to talk to me after you watch this video. Thanks for watching, I'll see you guys next time.